Today in this short cast, we're going to have on Nishant, who's spent over 6 figures creating returns with Facebook advertising. Now, he's seen different mistakes that are commonly made with Facebook advertising, and he's going to address them and how to fix them in this podcast. So if you're getting started with Facebook ads, you've had some smaller campaigns, or you've always wanted to get started, he's going to set you on the right track. And I also created a special cheat sheet for you, 100% free, titled The 7 Mistakes People Make with Facebook Ads That Ruin Campaigns and How to Fix Them. Head on over to digitaltriggers.io/7mistakes, the number 7 and then the word mistakes, to download that completely free cheat sheet for our listeners. You can also find a link for that in the show notes and the description of this podcast. And now let's hand it over to Nishant.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me, sweetie. Talking about Facebook mistakes, there's a bunch of different things people do incorrectly, especially when they're starting out, and we're still learning every day. But some of the basic mistakes that I've seen is the first major one is where people essentially treat Facebook ads as Google or Amazon when they're advertising, and that's not correct because people don't go to Facebook to purchase things. They go out there to have a good time or just gossip or just see what people are doing. So you have to interrupt their pattern enough and get them to take an action. So that's where the challenge lies. When you go to Google, let's say you're looking for a car repair mechanic, or you're looking for Cardinals jersey or whatever, you'll type in those purchase keywords. Your intent is to buy. You've raised your hand. That's not the case on Facebook, and that's what people fail to realize. Make that differentiation. They still put the same type of message on Facebook as they would on Google, and that's one of the reasons they fail. The second thing I would say is not using the correct images. Your image is the first thing that anybody notices about your ad. So it's the image and the headline. And that's where most people make mistakes. They either use images that camouflage very easily with the Facebook interface, or they use images that are way too generic. So the exact images I'm talking about, the same model go, and like 50,000 different ads all over the internet. People have grown tired of seeing the same type of generic stuff over and over. And if you want a good performing ad, you have to make it very specific to the particular audience that you're reaching out to. So that's that. And there's a lot of different marketplaces where you can go and buy images, or you can create your own. Or if you're not very tech savvy, if you're not very graphic oriented, you can hire somebody on Fiverr to do it for you for only $5. But definitely invest in a good image for your ad. Excuse me.
I know you also mentioned having a congruency with the image.
Absolutely, that is very, very important. Don't just have an image of some girl lying in a bikini just to get people to see it. That's not going to convert very well for you. That may get the clicks for you, but it's not going to convert. We've tested that over and over again. It's people want to feel like they where they've clicked, they're going to the correct place. So if they don't want to click on something that looks like a girl in a bikini and then end up on a website where you're trying to sell them a software, that's a very big disconnect. So you want to make sure that you use images that are congruent. So they may not get enough click-through rate, and that's okay because they will get you the conversion. I think that's what it comes down to. At the end of the day, you don't care about 20% CTR. You care about how many dollars that particular campaign brought in. And if you don't have congruency, your net dollar income is not going to be as high, if there's anything. So that's the other important. And then I always talk about headlines. I see people write a whole Bible in the headline. You don't want to do that. You want to make sure that you keep it short and punchy, something that people can easily remember. And it has been scientifically proven that anytime you have over 7 words, it's not as easy. Break that threshold of learning. So you want to make sure that your headline is 7 words or under. Just ask a question or give them something very congruent. I always like to lead from pain and gain, and so I would either talk to them about some pain that they're facing, and then try to give them a solution, or I will appeal to something that they're trying to gain. So maybe somebody's trying to buy a new car, that's a gain for them. So I would talk to them about that. but at the same time, uh, maybe somebody's suffering from obesity. So if I'm trying to run a weight loss ad, which by the way, unfortunately you cannot run those on Facebook anymore. But let's say if somebody's hurting from chronic back problems, and I'm doing a campaign for a local chiropractor, that would work beautifully on Facebook. And in that case, I would leave from the pain. So I'll say, got back problems, click here to get rid of it, or we can help. And then in the description we could put call to actions and those call to action buttons and everything. But you have to make sure you're not writing a whole story. Your purpose is not to sell on Facebook. That's what most people don't realize. You don't want to sell on Facebook. You want to sell on your website. So your purpose is to just get a good congruent targeted click. So that's the other mistake. And then one of the other big mistakes I see people make is with their bidding strategy. They have no idea how to bid for ads. But with some with some little due diligence, and if you pay attention to some of the things that they teach you about everything, I think you'll be very well set. What you have to do is you have to see if you're entering a new market for the first time, and you have no idea how your ad is going to perform, what your numbers are going to look like. Go for CPC, which is cost per click. I see a lot of people go for CPM because it looks cheap, because Facebook shows you like 25 cents to reach 1,000 people or $1 to reach 1,000 people. People think, as a general tendency, and I used to think the same way when I was starting out, that hey, for $1, my ad will be seen by 1,000 people. At least like 50 people will click on it, and like at least I'm going to convert this much. I want to make these many sales. And remember, I had a little bit of background in online marketing. I knew a couple things. Imagine people that know absolutely nothing about conversion or anything. They just, that's so cheap, and they buy all these CPM ads, and they feel so miserably because they're targeting, way too broad. And that's the next point I wanted to talk to you about. So if you're, is targeting. You don't want to target way too wide, way too broad. You want to always reach out to the most targeted people, most targeted audience. And it may be very small, and that's completely okay, because you only want to reach out to the people that are your ideal audience, especially when you're just starting out. You don't want to reach out to everybody out there and basically burn your ad budget on people that are never going to purchase from you. So these are some of the things you should definitely pay a lot of attention to. And if you just focus on making these things correct, doing these things the right way, you're going to have a pretty decent campaign. You're going to have a campaign that's going to be better than at least 80% of the other people out there.
I hope you enjoyed that short episode. On Tuesday, we're going to bring Nishant back, and he's going to talk to us a bit more about Facebook advertising. He's also going to go over how he sets up a campaign live, and he's going to discuss his recent 6-figure product launch, among other things. Now, as mentioned, head on over to digitaltriggers.io/7mistakes to get your 100% free cheat sheet, the 7 mistakes people make with Facebook ads that ruin campaigns and how to fix them. Thanks for listening, and see you again on Tuesday.